Next up on my Christmas cookie list is the little snowman, and yes, I kind of squished his little face earlier today because I haven't baked these yet, so I was kind of bummed, but I'm going to show you how to make the little snowman, snowman cookie right here. Start off with some white clay, or I'm using the glitter clay because it's way more fun for Christmas. There we go. Okay, take a little bowl, you're going to warm it up. And gently squish it. That's the size of your cookie. Now I'm taking another little piece of white clay and I'm using some blue glitter and mixing it together to get this little guy. I just mixed them all together. And this is my hat. And that's going to be too much, so I'm going to take some off. Just leave that to the side. Here's my little hat. Love sore throats. Alright, I'm using my pointy tool. You like my fingernail? Check it out. I have one that's even pink. Don't ask. So, I have my hat here. Stay. Alright. And I have icing that I'm going to be using as my glue. Good thing it doesn't spill anywhere. Now my icing, you'll have to look at my icing video to actually see how it's made. It's no big deal. It's just TLS and clay. And I'm taking a teeny tiny little dot. I did say teeny. And I'm going to put that under that hat because when it bakes, it will stick like super glue. It'll be wonderful. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a seed bead. The colors coordinate. Blue in this case. You can make them any color, of course. And get that little guy there. And now take my little seed bead with my pokey tool. And this you could use a toothpick as a pokey tool. You don't have to use the metal kind like I have. And then I'm gonna try and wipe off some of that because I don't want that on there. And you are so not even seeing this. This is not working. Hold on. Okay, I've finally figured it out. Just use a little piece of, I'm using a little piece of clay behind the cookie to hold him up so you can see me actually decorating because laying flat isn't working well. So, what we're doing next, let's see, we have the hat put on there and we need the eyeballs. And I'm using, can you see what these are? These are little teeny tiny black marbly glass marbles. They're not beads because they don't have a hole in them. They're way too tiny. Find them in the scrapbook section. I actually found all of mine. I have all different colors. Excuse me, at Michael's. But I'm sure you could find them at Hobby Lobby too. I don't know. Now I have a gold, which I'm using for the nose as a carrot because it's the closest thing to orange I have. And I'm using black. Those are the only two colors I'm using on this. And what you're going to want, because your fingers are going to be way too big, I'm using my pokey tool. And I'm going to slightly dampen it, however you feel best. And you're going to stick it in there. You can use a toothpick if you want. Now I only need two, and as you can see, there it picks up a lot more than two, so start shaking them off. And yeah, they're a pain to work with, but I think it's worth it because they do turn out pretty cute. Now I have 3 on here, but let me back it up so it's clear. I can always take one off. Oh, see? 2 went on, 1 stayed on the toothpick thing. So, I'm going to take this little guy. Eyes are a lot lower on the head than you think, so don't do it too high. And if you want, you could even, lost an eyeball. You could even poke little holes where you want the eyeballs to stick. And you don't need to glue them, because they'll just stick in the nice soft clay. Come on, come on. There. Now I'm going to use my finger to gently press them into the clay. Gently. And then I'm going to put a little nose on there. And that would be my golden beads. Oh my goodness, I ended up with one. Can you believe it? Wow, and it went on there first try. Check it out. Let me use my metal thingy to kind of tap just the end of my pen, anything, you know, use your finger if you want. Press it in gently, and then I would use an odd number of black beads for the mouth. You can either use 3 or 5. I find that on cookies this tiny, 3 works good, and you don't want to overdo the face. I'm having trouble getting the beads on here, but luckily you can always, well, I can stop it and then show you if I need to. Okay, now I have one there. I'm putting it in, shoving it in. You know, doesn't that look funky? It'll look better, trust me. And you put one in the middle. Yay! And he's a happy little snowman. And if you really feel the need, I suppose you could try and get little eyeballs on there, or eyebrows. But no one's ever going to see that close, so you don't really have to. So here's your little guy. Now I have him stuck to a piece of clay. You're going to want to separate him ever so carefully. If he's on your tabletop, try not to squish him. He is so easy to squish and misshape. It's really aggravating. So now we have our little guy, and you can throw him in the oven, or because that bead is plastic, so it'll get warm, but it probably won't melt, and if it does melt a teeny tiny bit, it won't hurt anything. A glass bead would be better because you know it won't melt, but it hardly gets any heat in there, really. Here's my little other guy that I squished to begin with. So anyway, just make some of those, put them on your tray, and there you have your little snowman cookies. After they're baked and cooled, or because they're so tiny, if you're going to put them on a tray like this and you want to make them permanent on there, you wouldn't really even have to bake them. They are so tiny if, and here's the big if you use triple thick. It's holding up my camera right now, so I have a hard time showing you. But if you use triple thick, like this, to glaze it, and you glaze it only when it's cold, and you cannot bake triple thick. So keep that in mind when you're going to do that. But it will make it nice and shiny. Yeah, when I get famous and rich, I'm getting a cameraman. Anyway, it'll make it shiny, and it'll keep it permanently really, really hard, which is wonderful. Here are some hardened pomegranates, and they are super duper hard. They're baked, but they're also covered with glaze, and that glaze hardens up so beautifully, and then it keeps it clean. You can wash the dust off and all that. So either way, works fine.